food editor of Susquehanna Style magazine, and we're here at Stout's Brewery in Adamstown today, trudged out on a rainy, cold May morning to get some brew news on a special brew that some of the area's best craft brewers are making here today. It's called Brotherly Suds 2, and it's going to be released at Philly Beer Week on June 3rd on opening tap night. The brewers that are here today include Victory, Yards, Troegs, and Notting Head, and of course it's being brewed here on Stout's equipment. And we're very excited to try this beer when it comes out. So we're going to go inside and get the scoop on what's going in it.
It's the first time?
He wasn't. It's okay.
Well, I mean, again, I guess it's an interesting challenge because when this group is assembled, people are expecting something exciting. So we want to deliver that, but at the same time, we don't want to risk too much and end up with something so unusual, so unprecedented that it sucks.
What I always think is kind of neat is when we sit down and talk about the beer we want to brew, it's completely different than a beer geek beer would typically be. So as a brewer, like this is a brewer's geek beer. As a brewer, like I really like the idea of taking these delicate flavors and fooling around with them. But in the typical 2%er beer geek world, that might not be as glamorous as
they're looking for the
bourbon barrel, triple hop,
14% alcohol, 70 IBUs, and the extreme. We're still doing something extreme, but I think on a different level. I think more of a pioneering extreme as opposed to the same extreme that most everybody else is pumping out.
But if we get it right, it doesn't just appeal to beer geeks.
Yeah,
when we get it right,
it won't just appeal to the beer geeks, but to a much larger audience.
When the hops are boiled, that's where you get the bitterness. So when you're adding it towards the end, towards the whirlpool, you're getting more of the spice of the hop, the resin, and the aroma. So that's where these later additions, we're adding like layers of aroma into the beer that's really going to make it, wow, this is so interesting. And then you taste it, and it's not as bitter as you perceive, but it's very drinkable, and you're overwhelmed in a way. So that's kind of what we're going for.
we're hoping by doing it that way, it allows the yeast to come through, being a unique yeast. That's not overpowering as well. We needed to give a base canvas malt that set the stage. Hops being a late addition set the aroma, and then the yeast kind of intermingles in between them. Because that yeast is delicate, you can't go too heavy-handed.
Probably never thought of all these things when you drank a beer before, right?